Wildwood, New Jersey police have released 3 body cam videos showing the violent encounter over Memorial Day weekend at the beach.
Yo, don't touch me, man! Don't.
Get over here.
What are you doing? Don't touch me, man! My daughter, what the doing?
You're done.
Emily Wyman, 20 years old, from Philadelphia, was arrested, and she's now charged with assaulting the police officers. I want to bring in 2 experts on law enforcement and prosecution and a defense attorney. First of all, retired detective from the NYPD, Sergeant Joe Jackalone. Joe, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Good. And former prosecutor in Morris County and now defense attorney, Bob Bianchi. Good to see you, Bob.
Good to see you, Bill.
Joe, I'm going to start with you. You see the video. I think the body cam video came out kind of quickly after the release of the cell phone video last weekend. It seems that many people are still fixated on the officer punching what looks to be her head or her neck or her back.
Stop resisting! Yo!
What are your thoughts as far as how the officers conducted themselves in getting this woman in custody?
Well, it goes to show you that no matter how small or how big you are, if somebody doesn't want to get cuffed, they can't. It's one of those things where physical force has to be used in order to make somebody comply. And I know people are saying, well, she's a young girl, she's a young woman, but I mean, how else you expected to do it? For those that on social media that said, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that, I would like to see what they would have done in that case.
Bob, let me ask you 2 sides to this. First of all, as a former prosecutor, looking at this case on the activities of the cops, it seemed to me that the cops can't win. They're in an altercation with somebody. They're trying to wrestle her down and get the cuffs on her. What else do they do?
Well, listen, there are specific laws and specific rules and regulations and training that cops go through. It's called the use of force continuum. And they are supposed to use whatever force is reasonably necessary in order to effectuate the arrest. This girl was yelling at him. She was not complying. She walked away from him. She then aggressively turned back towards him. She assaulted him, which is an aggravated assault.
You can see her 2 hands coming at him.
You can see her do that. At that point in time, in the use of force continuum, you're moving from verbal commands to physical force to mechanical force. That would be like a baton or OC, to potentially deadly force, which obviously we don't have here. And when you are going to encounter the police in a physical force scenario because you refuse to comply, don't be surprised if you should be injured in that process. Here is what I say all the time, Bill. You need to argue your case in a court of law, not there. Even if it's an unlawful arrest, the law is you must submit, period, full stop.
What was the most compelling part of the video that jumped out at you?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what, Bill. If you listen carefully to this video, and you have to take all the facts into consideration, this is not about a fair fight. And by the way, police can use force greater than the force that they're meeting. Let's get that straight. But listen in the background to either the person videotaping or her friends or the citizens around her when they're saying, "Stop resisting."
Stop resisting!
So obviously those observers that were right there saw the whole incident, were actually directing their comments to her because they saw that she was resisting, and in fact the cops say she resisted and actually kicked the cop in the groin during the course of this incident.
Joe, let me ask you, what people are fixated on because it was released first is that double punch to the head. You think that was a necessary use of force? And do you think the cops are going to, will they walk away from this and say, look, that's what we had to do?
Yeah, the police had to just do this. I mean, we don't know if he was intending to hit her in the face or not. She's, writhing around on the ground, and he was throwing punches to try to, what we used to refer to as loosen somebody up a bit to get them to comply. I don't see this as something that they went over the top with. I just think that, unfortunately, like in policing, we had a saying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, this is basically what we're looking at here.
Bob, would you take her case if she called you and said, Bob, I think I got a case, I want to sue these guys?
I would take her case as a criminal defense attorney, but I would not take her case on the civil side because in addition to the fact that cops have wide discretion, there's also immunities that protect them and the police agencies, even for conduct that turns out to be wrongful. But I just got to say one thing. I mean, this woman, as the sergeant is indicating, is now in a situation where she is aggressively going after him, and with these punches, this is what most cops say. If more of these cops got physical with their hands, it would prevent these cases where cops resort immediately to their gun that creates a lethal situation.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks, Bob.